And welcome once again. We are live in the man cave, and I do have a motley crew tonight. But first off, I will I'll put all y'all in the green room real quick and go over some openings for the show for tonight. I'd like to welcome everybody to the man cave. Again, my name is Paul Knapp, and I will be hosting tonight's show. Tonight we have a special guest. His name is Walter McCloud. Walter is a longtime follower of the Man Cave live stream show. And if you don't know him by Walter McCloud, you probably know him by his YouTube channel. It's official Lanard Toy News. So he will be on shortly to update us on all the latest Lanard information. As always, I'd like to give a few channel plugs tonight. The Toy Boy, he collects mostly Action Man. He's in Britain. So make sure you check his channel out. And Secret Galaxy by Dan Larson. I think a lot of us already follow him, but if you're not following him, make sure you check him out. Secret Galaxy, Dan Larson. I'd like to thank a few new subscribers, Action Pilot Films, Ski Rod, and Sam Shields. 3 people that joined the club this week, so I'd like to thank them. Next Monday, July 31st, our special guest will be It's Chad. It's Chad. And if you're not familiar with that, It's Chad. He used to be Articulated Chad, but it's now It's Chad. So he will be with us next week talking G.I. Joes and hopefully recapping my trip to the Kentuckiana show, which I will be leaving this Thursday. So if anybody out there is watching and you plan on attending the Kentuckiana show, make sure you stop and say hi. And let's get you on the show in the near future. Now, let's start off with some introductions with this motley crew. And I'm going to go way to the bottom of the list and bring this gentleman up. I don't know if anybody remembers this guy. This guy doesn't care if you're 3 or 53. If you touch his toy collection, he will destroy you. This is Angelo D'Annabelle.
Yay!
He's out of the sicky room and he's ready to rock and roll tonight, baby. So
got it.
Another person that we haven't seen in a while, hiding behind his microphone there.
As always,
this man doesn't say much, but when he does, he usually drops the F-bomb. This is Gregorio Salinas.
hello.
Yay!
And moving up the chart, let's see who we got batting third here. We got this gentleman right here. He may be the black sheep of the family, but he's the one you call when shit gets real. This is Michael Buwinski.
Yay for me!
I like Buwinski better than Bowinski, but I know it's Bowinski. I think me and Jeff Shear say that all the time. I said me and Jeff Shear, we pronounce it the same way all the time. But it's Bowinski. Most people know him as Medic Mike. Medic Mike. We like that better. And last but not least, with our panel for tonight, we saved this guy here.
Man.
I got a good one for you tonight. Coming to us tonight from an unknown location in Mexico, only because he's on the FBI's most wanted list. This is Jim Egner.
Woo! Oh, I got to do the other.
Boo. Jim's always nice, clean shaven before every show. Jim, do you go and get your hair done and get a nice clean shave before every show?
You got a whole team behind him.
Yeah, I've got a team over here that does the makeup and the hair.
Please share you. I want to say hello to everybody in the message who are putting messages in, saying hi to me and welcome back. So thank you. Yeah, it's been a rough road, but back and better than ever, brothers.
All right. Well, glad to have you back there.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Just saying hi to some people. We have GIA, who was on the show last week. GIA. Hope you guys caught that. If you weren't here, Big Boss Jack, always number 1 on the hit chart. Mike's GI Dojo, he was here last week as well. So I was watching Largo's Lair a little earlier. Had to leave his show to get to my show, man. I was like all wrapped up. He had retro blasting on his show tonight. So, all right, gentlemen, as always, what's new in the zoo? And Angelo, you only got 5 minutes, man. So, I know we haven't seen you in like 2 months, but you got 5 minutes to talk about what's new in your zoo. So,
all right, new in the zoo, real quick. COVID, Lyme, ceiling fell down, pool got a leak. Let's see, put in a new shed. A lot going on with the house. And with G.I. Joe, I am actually just had printed a new edition of the Feathered Serpent. It's now a bound edition, over 90 pages and 300 photographs. So that's going to go to Joe Lana with me. So that's new in the zoo.
Damn, dude, I think that's record. That was record for you.
I figured, you would want me back. If not,
No.
He
You
thought
said the
about
check's
it,
in the
yeah.
mail, right? You said
Yeah.
the check's in the mail, right? Okay. As long as I get that by Friday, you're good. Man.
right before you go and spend some money on toys.
Exactly. I need that for the Kentucky show.
Yeah.
How about out there in Chicagoland? What you got new in the zoo, brother?
I got a whole bunch of projects going on, but the most recent one that I've completed is this Action Man that I pieced together over a couple months. But outside of that, just slowly getting other projects going. So, as always, I'm slower than most to finish my projects.
That is a Eagle Eye, yes.
That was a Palatoy Action Man, for those who don't know.
Very nice.
I think I have 100 vintage G.I. Joes and not one Eagle Eye, man. Medic
that
Mike,
was
next
tough
time you
to
come
come
across one, you need to save it and sell it to me.
I come across one for you, I'll let you know. I only have one in my collection as well. So
Oh, really?
I think they look all goofy and weird as hell. So I told you, I'm kind of like, those
What's new
eyeballs
in
are
Medic
weird.
Mike's basement?
Actually, not too much. We're still messing with the MSV project that I did the video on. Went to the show, like I told you guys earlier, met Scott. Basically straightened out my collection, and work is kicking my ass lately. So I guess I'm going to be a little bit tied up for at least a week.
Right on.
Okay, I wish I had better news, but
We don't have Lyme
It'll go
disease. We
longer.
don't have COVID, right? So
no, I did that one too. That sucked as well.
Peter from the Skull Reviews, thanks for joining us tonight, brother. And Gamer Newbie Ed, hey, what's the weather like in Canada? You guys done with those forest fires or what?
We're still coughing here from those forest fires.
I know.
Oh my, really?
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. What's
All
new
right,
in
Mr. Jim
Ignorance
Egner.
Zoo? Oh man.
What are you 3D printing for us now?
Man, I got a few things here I thought I'd share.
Absolutely.
Let's see. First up, let's see. Can you see that?
Ooh, I see that.
Yeah, that's
See it, but I can't make out what it is.
Wheel.
Oh, okay.
it's probably more like that. Anyway, Panther Jet front landing skid or gear. Anybody recognize what these things are?
Yeah, slide in there.
MSV trays, yes.
These are the
Oh, wow.
custom ones that,
Whoa.
Oh,
that
little
slide
pull-out.
apart. So,
Oh, that's freaking awesome. Okay, are those completed yet, Jim?
what's that?
Are
those
those
completed?
completed yet, Jim?
Yeah,
Those ready to
they're up for sale now. So.
sell? Okay.
And I think I may have showed y'all this last time. This is
Yes.
the struts or booms or whatever you want to call it for the APC. So I've been kind of working APC projects over.
Yeah.
That's
Helicopter console.
3D printed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helicopter. Yep.
Yep. Helicopter. So, that's pretty much it. That's what's
Oh, that's
Well, you might as well just print the whole helicopter, man. I mean, come on.
pretty close.
Yeah, I noticed you got enough
Seriously.
pieces for it. I mean, don't you just need like the two halves?
Pretty much. And that, and I got to figure out how to do clear better. I've managed. I think I showed you last week the
Yeah.
part
Yeah, you
for
did.
the sea sled. If I can,
Did you get with that one guy on Facebook?
Um,
He was looking for that clear shield, and I posted your name. I said,
oh yeah,
he's still
yeah,
in-
yeah. He contacted me. I still
Okay.
haven't been able to get him into production, so it's just the one-off that I've done right now. But
Yeah.
I've got 4 more printed. We're doing this up at the makerspace at our university, so I'm kind of at the mercy of the technician that works up there.
Gotcha.
So yeah, hopefully I'll have a few this week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well,
If I can figure that out, then I can do the front windshield for the helicopter.
Well,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
go.
I've already done the design work on it, so that leaves me with almost nothing left on the helicopter that I hadn't done yet. So that reminds me.
What else he's got? It's going to impress me again.
Let's see. Can you see the chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same as the helicopter's chair, ain't it?
That's just got that
And
just came off.
Swampcraft.
Forgot about it.
You know, Jim, you can always print it in color instead and do it like the capture copter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And not
Good
worry
call.
about having it clear.
The pontoons, the vintage style pontoons, which I don't think I've got in my junk pile right at the moment, are on the printer now. So I do a custom pontoon, but these are somebody asked for the replica of the vintage ones. So I'm working on that now. They're made out of a weird plastic that flexes, and the way that interfaces with the original style landing, the strut supports, is going to be problematic. So I've kind of dragged my feet making that. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
GIA asked if you got bit by a tick. No, he had an STD. That's they put him down for 2 weeks, and it was hard explaining that to his wife. He told me, but so.
Yeah, it was.
And you want to go into?
It was a tick. It was nice and engorged. It was a fatty, right on my forearm. So and then the bullseye came out about a week later, and then they started me on antibiotics, and then I had a allergic reaction. Ended up in emergent care. So I've been battling.
Yeah, Logic Blaster is in the house, and I don't have my sunglasses to put on to. We got to get that guy on here. I'm gonna have to send him $100 or something to
At least.
rope Mr. Logic Blaster on. He's asking about the clear translucent parts. He said you need to work on the Tank Commander goggles. You know.
Ooh,
Yeah. Design work's done, but getting that to print right, that's the challenge.
Yeah.
What's the issue with that one? Is it the curve?
No, it's a matter of getting it to print, and you're dealing with the thickness, and then in that particular one, it's green, so you have to figure out a way. There's some translucent greens that you can use. They're not clear though, and so now what do you polish this or sand it, or do you use a clear and then dye it with some a little bit of tint? So it's just a big mess.
Right.
Sounds like a lot of extra work. Oh hell, print them in clear, and you can just use a green magic marker on them.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing them in clear, and I had some success years ago dyeing plastic when I was doing X-wing pilot helmets.
Mm-hmm.
They had that amber visor, and you can't find the amber anywhere, but you can put it in RIP dye and boil it, and then it would the dye would bond with the plastic. So I may try some of that with this resin stuff. It's a real experiment, so it's fun but challenging.
If you want a ghetto kind of holdover, you can always use a Mountain Dew bottle. Cut that up. Make goggles out of that.
Yeah, that's what I did for my sea sled. I just used a clear soda bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gamer newbie Ed said it's hot up there in Canada. Really? What's hot? 60 degrees, 70 degrees? Because it was almost 90 today in Virginia Beach. So I don't know.
Yeah, we had it here. Well, I got to say, best hobby in the world. I said, I thank you, all the guys again, chatting in. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Oh, by the way, we got a special guest down here. I forgot. He's in a green room.
Oh, yeah.
So it is time for bringing him in. So he's down there shaking his head. He thinks he should just hang up right now. We're talking 3D printing.
Okay. Everybody pretend nothing went wrong.
So let me introduce our special guest tonight. This man needs no introduction. He's been collecting toys before collecting toys was cool. Action figure nerds call this guy for advice, and he'll open a can of whoop ass on anyone who touches his toy collection. This is Mr. Walter McCloud, a.k.a. also known as Mr. Lanard Toys. Can I call you that?
You can call me whatever you like, just don't call me Collect.
Right on, brother. So we were having some computer difficulties earlier, so Mr. Walter is going to go vertical on us tonight. Hopefully that doesn't bug anybody, but actually you'll be able to see the chats a little bit better. You'll be able to see the chats a lot better because they won't be on your face on the right-hand side there. So before we get started, I understand that you know one of our panel guests here tonight, do you?
Which one?
Or one of our panel guests knows you? You bought something from him, or?
Well, I know Walter from. I've done a few of his 3 3/4 head GI Joe.
Yeah, my flocked Rampage heads.
Yes. Yes. So
Yeah.
that's neat. Yeah,
So there you
I did 3 of them for you. One was the Rock, right? I did.
Yeah, you can't stop the Rock, but you can flock the Rock.
That's right. That's right. So that's me. So that was a really cool project, and I still have one that I did for myself, and that's really cool. And I got somebody else interested in having me do a 3 3/4 inch a figure as well to make it look Adventure Team.
Oh, I still have those there. They're right there with the rest of my customs. They're a pride in my collection.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that was great.
We're making those connections on the live stream.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, questions for Mr. Walter before I hit him up with my list that I sent him. Start from the top. Jim, you got anything ready?
Oh man, you know me, I'm always going to ask some question. I've been
But it's
accused
not,
of being able
as
to
long as
hold
it's not 3D
projects.
printing. I don't think he does 3D printing. So.
All right, here
No,
it
not
goes.
yet.
Walter, what do you collect? What's your favorite? I guess.
I collect a lot of action figure lines. Everything from the new Super Joe Unlimited figures from White Elephant Toys. Of course, Lanard, everything that Lanard has put out from the Gung Ho line all the way for the core, all the way from 86 to now. That's like the majority of my collection. I do have Action Man. I do have a few 12-inch GI Joes. I have a large 3 3/4 GI Joe collection, which everyone just assumes because I'm affiliated with Lanard that I don't like GI Joe. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I just get kind of perturbed with how Lanard core gets turned the phrase as a knockoff or a bootleg or a cheap imitation when it's supposed to be a for use with line. That was the original intent. It wasn't meant to be a bootleg or a knockoff.
So
But
how long have you been with
I
Lanard?
have
Are you allowed to tell us much about Lanard? What can you tell us? Like,
I can tell you that the reason that I was brought in was to work on a video game. And that video game, I'll send you a link to it, Paul. That way you can share it with everyone.
Okay.
That was pretty much why I was brought in.
and that was how long ago?
It's been about a year and a half.
Okay.
That but prior to that, I was back and forth with the owner and with the director that was in charge of all the male action figure lines for Lanard.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of back and forth, and I built up a rapport with them, not only as a fan, but I had attended a lot of the warehouse sales. That's a completely different subject, though. I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to the original Lanard lines, and that really impressed upon, you have people that get hired in that know nothing about the history of the brand. Right. They're there to do, one project or another project, or they get put on multiple projects at Lanard that they're not just assigned to the core, they're assigned to maybe the chalk, the hydro rockets. There's a lot of different products that are made by Lanard that are, beside the core.
Yeah. I think we're mostly familiar with the core, but
I wanted to ask a question, piggyback on that video game. Are you designing a video game for Lanard that is action figure based video game?
It is. If you love stuff like Fortnite and Cybercharge, it's along that aspect. It's the company that is doing the software and everything for it, Manticore Games, and it's running off of their core game platform. The video game that I've developed for Lanard, which is the Core Universe video game, it was built from the ground up. Everything you see, all the assets and everything, if you look at what Core Games does, is like a box of Legos. They give you all of the pieces, and it's up to you, which this cuts a crap load of time that you would normally have to go and develop all the different assets. So developing the video game, instead of it taking 20 people 2 and 3 years to develop even a working model to present, it cuts it down to months.
No.
So we have now a working video game that you can go in, you can play it, you can play against other players, and it's still in the alpha stage. There's still going to be some bugs. There's still going to be some glitch, unfinished aspects in textures and stuff that are in the game. But the completed game is being recoded. It's being redone, almost nightly builds.
And where would we be able to find this?
I'm going to send you the link. It's on the Core Game platform.
Okay.
I sent a video to Paul earlier in Facebook, so you could get a look at the it's just a rough cut promo, because we haven't even put together a presentation video for it yet.
Oh wow!
Because it's been just in the alpha stages for testing. But we've had over 2,000 people play the game, interact with the game, that have given tremendous feedback. Right now, it's PC only, but it's going to go to iOS, Android, and next-gen consoles. It's going to be cross-platform playable. So if you're on a PlayStation, you can play against someone who is on the PC, or you can play against someone who's on an Android device, or someone playing on an Apple can play against someone on an Android. And you can go team versus team or player versus player.
It's another facet. It's another way to get our hobby out there. I mean, I could just imagine if there was an adventure team type video game. I mean, they tried some of the Real American Hero games. They were absolute complete garbage. I think they just were trying to throw them out there and put the G.I. Joe label on it and say, here's a game, and this will appease all the gamers, but they were absolutely terrible. But I'm just thinking, if you're as a way to like do an adventure team game, wow, how cool would that be? And all the different things and all the different avenues you would go down, from space to jungle to desert. There would be so many different ways and continuations of the game, and then it would maybe bring in some of the young blood into the hobby through video games.
I really, of all of the G.I. Joe brands that have come out since its inception to now, the Adventure Team and the Super Joe team are the two favorites of mine. A lot of people, it's going to be a Real American Hero because they grew up and that was like a comic book. That was a animated series. That's what they were, seeing day in and day out. And I'm amazed how few people even knew about Super Joe that are in the G.I. Joe community. I put up a little diorama that I did recently on my Dio page, which is nothing to do with Lanard. It's my personal Dio page. And I put up this Super Joe diorama that I've been working on, like, what the hell is Super Joe? And that really just blew my mind how few people knew about it. And I'm constantly pointing people to Austin's comic, the Kickstarter comic that he did, and White Elephant Toys, because they're a small company. I don't mind sending people their way because I want to see the Super Joe brand succeed. I mean, to be honest, I really would love it if Lanard had some way to grab the Super Joe license, and working in conjunction with White Elephant Toys. Yeah. Because, and I say that because just this past weekend, Hasbro pulled this little stunt where they came out with this Steel Brigade. They can't use Steel Brigade because Bobby Valla, but they came out with this Steel Core Trooper. And I showed that to my supervisor. I showed that to the people in legal for Hong Kong for the Corps, and they're like just doing like this. Because back in the 90s, Hasbro got sued by Lanard for using Battle Core. It was it wasn't the nail in the coffin for a Real American Hero, but it was definitely one of the nails.
Right.
that ended the Roman American Hero run. I mean, of course, they were buying up to get Star Wars. That the superhero stuff was coming out. They were trying to compete on multi fronts, and then of course, they changed animation studios from Sunbow into Deke to try to reap more profitability from the toy line and less from having to pay an animation studio.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But here's Hasbro once again bringing core into their brand, which a lot of the guys at Lanard, they find it flattering that Hasbro loves us so much. And I say that out of love. Okay, I have nothing against G.I. Joe. I have nothing against Hasbro. If Lanard came out with a Cobra, think about that for a minute. If Lanard had an enemy called Cobra, you would have the Pinkertons beating down the door.
Right.
Yeah. No, you're right. Hey, Logic Blaster said he has a bunch of the Lanard 1/6 scale stuff. You guys have any new 1/6 scale coming out? Anything new in the 1/6 scale coming out?
Yes, there is. And the funny story, I put up the video on the YouTube channel, and I got a phone call at 2:00 in the morning going, "Why are you putting the images up? Those are not supposed to be out." I'm like, "Well, the international vendor put out the imagery." Mm-hmm. So I was told as long as it's been images have been released, I can share those, because anything I put on my Instagram or on there has to be vetted and cleared by Lanard. I can't just put something up, and I can't just talk about upcoming assortments without having it cleared, because there's a lot of non-disclosure that is involved with these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the Ultra Adventure Core, which is the Ultra Core, is being brought back. It's going to hit late August into September domestically through Sam's. Now, internationally, it's going to be hitting around the same time for Smith's Toys, which Smith's is the equivalent of Toys R Us in the UK.
Okay.
And what it is a 4-pack. It's 4 12-inch figures, which if you've looked on my Instagram or you've looked on my YouTube, you can see the 4.
Now, when you said Sam's, was that like
wonderful 4-pack? Yeah, it's going to be a Sam's Club. Probably, I'm not going to swear that the packaging is going to be the same. I can't release that information because they're still discussing how the packaging is and what it's going to pertain. It may be different packaging for Sam's, so I don't want to say that it's going to be identical packaging to what Smith's is getting, but it's going to be the same figures.
Walter, what is your YouTube channel again?
Official Lanard. It's the official Lanard Toy News. And if you're looking at, if you go on it, and the top right corner, there's a couple of clickable links that'll take you to different social media for that. It's all tied together. We have a core forum, which is Core Fans HQ forum, which it's to interact with fans. There's the Core Time Crisis for Facebook. The Leonardalicious Instagram page. I do have a Twitter feed, or what is it called now? X. As of today, I think it's called X now instead of Twitter.
Okay, well, I'm checking it out now. Very cool.
Some of those videos are not my best work. Do not judge too harshly.
It's okay. We all have those.
Yeah.
Some of those are I had very little time to put them together. Others, I'm given a timeline of how long I have to put a video together, and it shows. It does show.
I enjoyed your last one when you were going over those figures, man, and the backgrounds look really cool. I don't know if that was something a green screen, or was that something you came up with, or
that the mountain adventure for the outdoor adventurer. That was a stock photo that was changed. If you go into my Instagram page, you'll see the new photo for the background.
Okay. All right.
Because the press release photos that the vendors are going to have is just a simple composite white or composite black background.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which personally, I think, my personal opinion is not Lanard's opinion. My personal opinion is, make it look nice. Make it like really have some depth to it.
Mhm.
But different resolutions. You're going to have different vendors that they're just wanting to put something up to showcase the toy. They don't care about a background. They don't care. They're just like, just put the toy up.
Mhm.
Well, some of those pictures that you had, it was kind of throwback, like a kid playing with the toys. Actually, it looked like the old Sears catalog thing. I mean, I was like, that was. I don't know if they meant to do that. Or if that's
I can't take credit for for the core universe. That was done in-house. That was done by the design team for Lanard. They did that. That's a completely separate group of guys. A wonderful, wonderful group of guys. And I'm going to say something right here, right now. The core universe assortment, that first 3 3/4 inch assortment that you saw that's just debuted, that had been in development for close to 4 years.
Wow.
And it kept getting delayed for one reason or another. So, the Badlands Medic ambulance, I've heard people go, "Where's Whispering Willie?" because he was showcased on the Core HQ website. The assortments get changed so often, and fans, when they see something online, they have this mentality that, okay, if it's shown, it's got to be in stores.
Mhm.
And that's because, that's what other companies are doing. They'll show a preview or something, and you'll walk into a supermarket or retail store, and it'll be there.
Mhm.
Lanard doesn't. They'll do something ahead of time and worry about which retailer is going to carry it next.
Yeah,
and it's caused a lot of conjecture with the collecting community. Or like, well, how come internationally we're seeing it all over international, but there's nothing domestically? And that's something that's being addressed, and I can't go completely into it, but I can say that the domestic availability, it hasn't fell on deaf ears.
cool. Mike,
Fans
Greg,
that
any
are
questions?
looking for
I got a question.
fans that are looking for the Core or the Primal Clash or Star Troopers, that's being addressed.
The 1/18 scale, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Place-
The 1/18
scale.
scale.
Yeah, Play Scale Soldier asked about that 1/18 scale.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Greg.
So I'm going to ask this question, and you don't feel free to ignore it if you want. But as I was looking at Lanard's catalog, I was curious to see that, originally they had more of their own original properties, right? Now that they've gotten more licensed stuff, do you think that takes away from the original properties?
Licensed properties actually have helped,
Mm-hmm.
because when you see a license line, if someone's not familiar with Lanard Toys, they look
Mhm.
at it and go, "Huh, Lanard," and they'll look it up because people are very knowledgeable now. They know that they can just pop something on their phone and Google it in, and it'll take them from point A to point B. So it's had a positive effect.
Okay.
But
Mike,
for
anything?
retail, a lot of retailers won't only a cross-platform type thing where they can sell a clothing line, they can sell a video game, they can sell the toy, and they can make money on just the branding from one thing. So that also is one of the reasons why when I pitched the idea to put the video game into development with the owner and with the head of the boys toy line for Lanard, that was one of my goals, was getting the Core back into everyone's minds, the front set that it once was.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everyone says now that kids are only into electronics. Well, if you come up with a video game and you have a way to tie it into with a toy, that's win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, same idea as when they tied in G.I. Joe with the cartoon, just using a video game, and that's a good call, all right.
Yeah. I mean, Barbie's done that, right? They had a Barbie game
yeah.
and more. I mean,
Yeah, the movie that just came
the
out.
movie, yeah, that's crazy. But
It's sad. I have 4 daughters, and I don't know the first thing about Barbie.
the Ultra
pink.
Core snowmobile play scale said that was 1/6 scale, right? That wasn't small.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was big. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember,
There's
I mean, that's
lot
something
of
GI Joe I don't think ever made, right? They never made a
Yeah.
snowmobile.
So can we expect to see more stuff like this in the future? This is a Lanard
Oh, an
core.
ATK! Look at that.
Hell yeah. I bought this about 20 years ago. It's great for
Wow.
GI Joes. Nice detail and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stick an AT sticker on here, you're ready to go.
Now I'm curious. Did you just get the Jeep, or did you get the towable cannon that came with it?
No, I just got the Jeep package.
Gotcha. There's
I really
a couple of
wanted to-
variations for it.
Yeah, I really wanted the yellow one, but I bought that from Keith Justice, and he only had the green ones. He didn't have any of the yellows. Like I said,
There's a
that had to
tan
be-
one as well.
Oh, is there? I didn't know that. Okay, cool. I got quite a bit of the bits and pieces of core gear in my GI Joe collection. You know, the rocket packs and stuff like that. That's all pretty well made and kind of fun.
Angelo, you got that one?
One of the guys that created the Ultra Core is now back with Lanard.
Oh,
He had went on to do other things, and now he's back working with the design team. So there's some really exciting stuff that's in the works, and I can't say any more about it than that.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
Well,
No,
we know
that's
Paul
great.
has like a dozen. So,
Well, it's just my standard questions, like what's your social security number and your
what's
address,
your bank account number? How
bank
much
account
you
number. But other than that, I mean,
No, that was great. Very, very informative already. I mean, learned a lot about it. And like you said about the domestic market and trying to get these toys out there into people's hands. And seeing them online and whatnot, but unless you can get them into the stores for people to actually walk by an aisle and say, "Wow, that's cool," and have a little kid or so see it, and making sure that they put it on that level, because when you put things in a store, they put things at a certain level for little kids' eyes. And until you have that happen and it gets more into people's hands, it's hard for that market. It's hard for that to continue to succeed unless you get it out there. And like you said, they're working on getting a domestic market, but it needs to get into stores.
Well, I want to say this. Walk down a boys' toy line toy aisle. Let's use Walmart as an example. I'm not bothered with Target right now. Walk through a Walmart toy aisle for boys, and I promise you, over 95% of the toy lines that are on a Walmart toy aisle, licensed properties, be it a cartoon, movie, a video game, or some kind of tie-in. You don't have just like when you were growing up, how you had. Let's use a different company for just a second. I'm pretty sure one of you guys know the Remco.
yeah.
Okay, you
That's
remember
going
like
way back.
U.S. Forces or Sergeant Rock's a great example. Even though it's a DC property, it had a Cobra as for the bad guys. Years before there was a G.I. Joe versus Cobra type aspect, they had a Cobra for the bad guys. But they had U.S. Forces and stuff, and there was no cartoon or comic tie-in. It was just a fun toy line. And that's what the core was when it debuted as Gung Ho. But now you walk down a toy aisle, and unless it's got some kind of tie-in, the retailers don't want to touch it. They gave Lanard, like, I want to say it was 3 or 4 feet of shelf space. And then for the holidays, Walmart gave a Christmas amount to be able to put box sets up. And that changed a lot of the way things were done, because you want to work with a retailer, especially a big retailer. But now, since COVID, retail, the way that you get products, it's changed. The landscape has changed again, and everyone wants stuff on a .com type where they can just order it and get it sent to their home quick. So places like Amazon, if you go right now on Amazon, there's several Lanard products that are on Amazon, and they're also on Walmart.com, both for the core universe and for Primal Clash.
Mike's GI Dojo wants to know any plans for a 12-inch with soft goods uniforms, like it used to be.
I would personally love to see the soft goods come back. It all has to do with cost. That's one of those terrible sides to it. You want to keep the product cost at a certain price point, but you want to maintain a good quality level. And I loved the Gen 1 Ultra Core that had all the soft goods and interchangeable uniforms. I loved those. And it changed up. But to be fair, a lot of the toy lines that were in 1/6 did that same change up. Mattel did it. Hasbro did it. Some other little 1/6 companies that were popping up at the same time, they also did it, and they kept lowering prices. So it was a competition of who could bring that price point at a good selling point while maintaining a good quality product.
Yeah. GIA Medic Mike, this one's for you. He wants to know the name of that Hummer. What type of Jeep?
Okay. Oh, it's an ATK. It's a Lanard Ultra Core, and it was put out probably 98 or 99. And I bought that one in about 2003. If you look on eBay, I'm sure you can probably find a few out there.
I know GIA. He's probably. That looks like the one he was making.
They're like a good safari Jeep.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Oh, there's a tan one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one here has got a fire extinguisher on there, and
hang on. Let me bring you up bigger, buddy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you guys want to see it, I'll show you a little closer. It's a little bit cobwebby. It's been sitting down here a bit. I got to do something with it. But it's got nice detail on the lights and everything, and fire extinguisher. It's got this roll bar, and this is a bikini top that goes on it. I got to replace the elastic, wore out. But you can look at the cockpit. It's pretty well detailed. You got nice seats, steering wheel, gear shift levers. These little suckers hold like map cases and stuff like that. Real cool. And see kind of see with my lighting down here. But I did find out when I cleaned it last time, I found out the stickers were waterproof.
Huh.
And it's got this really cool working winch at the front, which is about the neatest thing about it.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty neat. It's got this little thumb wheel. But yeah, if you can pick up one of these, it's great for GI Joes. I bought this with the idea of modifying it, making the doors open and stuff like that. But
yeah,
it's a time thing.
Yeah. Hey, Walter, you want to throw up that picture you were holding in the magazine again?
Oh,
I'll put it.
Hold on. Yeah, I set it down.
Sorry. So that's a tan version of what he has.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty
now,
cool.
Walter, Lanard made the watchtower too, right? Was that the right company, or am I thinking of something else? Did they do a watchtower?
Which watchtower?
Was it a green watchtower with a searchlight and like machine gun, or am I thinking Peacekeepers?
I think I was
Peacekeepers. World Peacekeepers.
Yeah, I mean, I know Paul asked about the snowmobile earlier.
Yep.
Yeah, snowmobile, very cool.
Yeah.
So what year is that catalog?
Those around. Those are neat.
What year was that? The snowmobile.
Let's see. I actually have this in front of me here. So this was right at 2000 when the Ultra Core, when that was the V1 Ultra Core team.
Yep. Very cool. Jim. And you guys are too quiet, man. Any more questions?
It's kind of just a curiosity. You see, your market is mostly youngsters that are collecting the 3 3/4 inch scale assortments. Where do you see the 1/6 scale market go? I mean, we talk about this nearly every show. Do we see it, blossoming into something new, or are we seeing it dying on the vine? What do you see?
It's not. I will say this, okay, without breaking any confidentiality. 1/6 scale is still very popular in other countries, and I'm trying not to back myself in a corner. Okay, Max Steel from Mattel. Max Steel did not survive here in the U.S., but places like Latin America and Mexico, Max Steel is huge. It's still huge.
Yeah. They have a cartoon too,
So,
right?
Yeah. Now, 1/6 scale, play scale, or whatever term you want to use, that's still very, very popular outside of the U.S. The U.S. does have a 1/6 scale community. There is a very strong 1/6 scale community. One of the partnerships that Lanard wanted and still does want is with Cotswold Collectibles. I'm sure you guys are familiar with them.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, Lanard sent over a package to be sent with Joe Fest with Cotswold Collectibles to advertise the Core Time Crisis, because they were going to work some kind of deal together to have it where certain things that couldn't be sold at traditional retail could be sold through Cotswold. And it was a test market type thing. But increased shipping costs made the deal, it just didn't work out. It was just bad time. But 1/6 is not dead at all. It's still very much alive. And this Ultra Adventure 4-pack is definitely an indication of moving that needle to see where it's going to land.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say without.
Well, we don't put you on the spot there.
Yeah.
It's just that we, each week we talk about, how do we grow the 1/6 scale interest in young people and that sort of thing, and that that concerns us all, I guess, at some level. So,
one of the things that I can say that I actually pitched at the owner and not the director of the toy department, the design team. I pitched to the owner that I would love to see, you've seen the 4x4 ATK. I would love for a air vehicle for the Ultra.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All they really had was rockets.
Yes, and they had jetpacks and that kind of thing. And they had some
big, though.
oversized backpacks that I will have to send Paul some imagery so he'll know what I'm talking about. But there were some ultra core backpacks that were like a giant stealth fighter that's strapped on the back of one, and a giant sized helicopter pack that snapped on the back of an ultra core figure. I've pitched to the owner that it would be really cool for a certain air type vehicle that has already been shown for the 118, and that's as far as I'm going to go with that part of the conversation.
Well, you made Angelo's
so y'all
night.
are familiar with the core. Y'all can piece the two together.
I said you made Angelo's night because he was going to start crying if you said 1/6 scale was going away, because that's his heart and soul, brother. That's his heart and soul, man. He collects other stuff, but he's diehard adventure team, bro.
Oh yes.
Tim, glad you can make it tonight. We got about 10 minutes left, gentlemen. Any more questions, or should we get right into trivia?
I do have a
Walter,
question.
I forgot to tell you, we have trivia tonight. You got to stick around for that.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's 20 questions on Lanard Toys. We're gonna see what you know.
Oh, boy.
Since you've been with the company for a whole year and a half, you should know all this.
I've been working. Before that, I was doing other things with them, but officially, yeah, it's been about a year and a half.
Yeah. Greg, you had another question.
I was just going to ask, do you prefer the Lanard 3 3/4 inch offerings or the 1/6 offerings that they did?
They're equally. There's so much to Lanard, and there's also some 1/12 scale products that I love, like the Dragon Doe I absolutely love, because I love martial arts themed stuff. There's been some offshoots from it. They had a Kung Fu Takeout, and they had the Super Soldiers, which was a core brand for the 112, the 6-inch scale. They were kind of Sigma 6-esque looking with the way that they were sculpted. They were made for a younger demographic, but they're just fun toys. I love them all equally for different reasons.
Okay.
Jim,
Like
question.
picking your favorite child. I'm sorry about that.
Jim, did you have another question or no?
Well, I was just, does the company market the product through their own website, or is it strictly through a third-party retailer, or how does that work?
Lanard works with multiple retail partners. They're like internationally. I want to say this is like the Indonesia market. I'm not going to swear to this, but it's marketed it's Lanard, but it's under a subgroup called Sunman, and which has nothing to do with the Mattel Sunman line. It's just they have like a multi company, like they'll have Chatmate products, they'll have this product, they'll have that product, kind of like how we have Kid Connection at Walmart.
Oh.
Or they have Just Toys. They have their Sunman toys, and Lanard caters to putting products in that Sunman packaging.
I got
so
you.
each retailer is different, but the core and stuff, only from what I remember, is like 30 or 40% of Lanard sales. And the rest of it is like, there's a bunch of outdoor toys. There's the chalk balls. There's the hydro jets. There's a lot of different products other than the core and the main, boys action figure line. There's a lot of squirt guns, dart guns, that kind of stuff. That they're big sellers. They sell a lot of volume, and it's maintaining and consistently selling, whatever retailer is carrying.
Well, you had mentioned something earlier about Cotswold, and I know that you can if your Google search foo is really good, you can find the Classicos Falcons out of Brazil. They'll have a website up if you can read, foreign languages and whatnot. I didn't know if I went and looked on Google, if I could find Lanard's website that has a place I could order some of this stuff from, or if I had to Target. That's kind of where I was
a direct sales platform for domestic sales. That is definitely. I can't say, and I can't without revealing too much. It's been addressed without cutting off existing retailers, because you want to maintain the retail connectability that you already have in place. But exclusivity contracts that once prevented stuff being marketed in other places in the U.S., that's over and done with. There's still going to be exclusives, but it's not going to be you only can find it at one retailer. That is not going to be the case anymore.
Okay.
Angelo, you still awake? Did your meds kick in or what?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm listening. I'm riveted. I mean, Walter has such a wealth of information about Lanard. I mean, it's amazing.
Cool.
Well, I will say this: the design team that they have been working on these action figures and the different parts of the story, to differentiate it away from other properties. These guys, they eat, sleep, breathe what they're working on. And I've surrounded myself with some great designers. And, we've worked hand in hand, me working on the video game. I'm constantly talking with the design team. These guys, they are very passionate about what they do. And so I get very, I do defend when Lanard gets attacked on some forum. There'll be a G.I. Joe forum, and I'm not going to name them because I'm not going to give them the publicity that they would love to have. but they've been very detrimental towards, anytime Lanard gets brought up, they treat it like it's, it shouldn't even be in the same headspace as G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And in one sense, they're right, because Lanard wants to be differentiated from G.I. Joe.
Yeah. That vintage elitism thing is crazy anyway. I mean,
No, you got to have, I don't have anything that's all of one type. I mean, you have to, you go out there and you look to see what's going to fit for what your purpose. So whether it's Lanard or Hasbro, G.I. Joe, whatever, Dragon or Ultimate Soldier, it's all the different things. You find what you like and you gravitate towards that. You don't have to like ostracize or keep somebody else away just because of their label or their name. That's not what the hobby it should be all about. If you want to be an elitist, if you want to be, so be it. Just, enjoy yourself, because you're not going to enjoy it.
And I think a lot of people, a lot of the fans thought that that's what I was, because that's what, I put on my, my social media is just Lanard stuff, but, I'm maintaining an official, front for Lanard on social media. So of course I'm not going to have G.I. Joe stuff in the background, or I'm not going to have Masters of the Universe stuff in the background. But that doesn't mean that I don't like those properties. I love a lot of different properties.
Yeah. All right, 2 rapid questions before we wrap it up for tonight.
Uh-oh.
Take off your Lanard hat here.
Blind job.
now you're just Walter. You're just Walter right now, okay?
Oh boy.
All right. What was your favorite toy growing up as a kid?
My favorite toy growing up oh my God, you really are going to put me on the spot. I loved Micronauts.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah,
dude, I did too, man. I had a lot of them until Star Wars came out. I had a lot of them.
There was,
Second
and I
question.
don't remember the name of it, but it looked like a dragonfly. It was like some kind of black thing with it looked like a dragonfly. It's the only way I can describe it.
Huh. I didn't have that one. Second question. What was your best childhood memory regarding your toys?
When the toys that made us showed how valuable they were, and I turned at my mom and I'm like, see? I'm glad you didn't throw those away.
The toys that made us just came out recently. I'm talking when you were a little kid. You don't have any good memories?
Yeah, but I mean, I kept all my toys. Okay, I kept them, and I caught hell from my parents that you've outgrown those. You don't need those.
Well,
so yeah, it was one of those.
I've had those conversations too.
No, keep it all, brother. Keep it all.
All right, man. It's time for some trivia, brothers. You can't snake out on us, Walter. All right.
Where has Paul Knapp been on vacation the last couple days?
This guy's going on vacation on Thursday. I'm going to the Kentuckiana show.
You do nothing but go on vacation. Every time I see him, you're on a beach.
I live at the
somewhere.
beach, brother. Every weekend's a vacation. I live at the beach, man. All right. Tonight is crazy fun board game trivia.
No.
Jim loves our trivia. So I'm going to start off with Jim.
Thanks a lot.
Rabble.
Last week was vintage toys. You guys suck.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna say you tried hard. You got like a 3 out. You guys got 3 out of 30. I think I had. So. I made this one very. I picked out the easiest questions here. I picked up the easiest questions for you guys. So all right, Jim, you're up first.
Oh man.
You ready, Jim?
No.
In Monopoly, what is the name of the most expensive property?
Got it. I know it.
Yeah.
it.
No.
I know this one. I know.
I know everybody does. Come on.
Boardwalk, isn't it?
Boardwalk it is.
No.
You got it.
Park
Medic
Place
Mike.
second.
Medic Mike, you're up. What is the goal of the game Risk?
To defeat the enemy.
Basically to
World
conquer all the
domination.
territories on the board. So yeah.
World domination, brother.
World domination. But you can't say Cobra. You can't say it's Cobra. Mr. Filmaholic. Mr. Filmaholic. In Scrabble, which letter is worth the most points? And actually, there's
This is
2.
a bad time to say I've never played a board game before.
What?
Ah.
Okay.
Hey, Walter,
be
he's the
lying,
youngest
man.
one out of the bunch here, so we got to cut him some slack.
Oh, that's okay, guys. I'm gonna turn this and see if I can.
Are you Googling shit, Walter?
No, this is a diorama. I'm just
Oh, all
gonna
right.
just gonna pop that there that way. See if I can
Filmaholic.
pop it.
Come on, I need 2 letters from you, bro. This is rapid.
I already
this is
told
rapid
you I've
quiz.
never played that before.
So like X, Z. You
I'm
gotta
gonna
do something
steal,
that is very
Mike's
hard to
G.I.
make a
Jojo.
word out of.
Answer and say Z and Q.
Z and Q is correct. Mike's
There
dojo
you go,
gets the
thank you.
points. You do not. Mike gets the points. You do not.
Yeah,
Oh, Ange, you're up. What is
You.
the most common color for hotels in the game of Monopoly?
The most common color of hotels.
Yeah, like
I know that one.
I know this one too.
The green were the little houses. The red were the hotels.
yes, sir. Red is the most common color. All right, Walter, you ready?
Go for it.
In the game of Clue, how many murder weapons are there?
6.
It is
Is it
6.
Now
You
name
got somebody.
them.
You got your kid googling that on the side for you, don't they?
My kids are not in here.
Jim Egner, you are back up in
Ah,
chess.
crap.
In chess, which piece can only move diagonally?
Diagonally, that'd be a bishop.
That is the
Yep.
bishop. Yes, sir. Medic Mike, what are the 4 railroad properties in Monopoly?
Oh,
There are 4.
Reading Railroad, B&O Railroad, Pennsylvania Railroad, and there's one more, and I'll be damned if I can remember it. Give me a sec. Of course, I'm not going to be able to remember it now, but I will in about 10 minutes.
You got 3. You got 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Anybody?
let's see. Shit, no, I can't remember the other one. Shit.
You're actually close with shit. It's short line. Shit line.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I played Monopoly.
Filmaholic. Which board game is played on a triangular grid and has the objective of moving all your pieces to the opposite corner?
I know what that is, but I don't know what it's called. I told
That sounds
you,
like an
I'm not
Egner
lying about this. God.
Oh my goodness.
And do you want to help him out?
I don't think I know. I don't know that one.
Really? It's an
Yeah.
old game. It's a vintage game.
Yeah.
Played with
Okay, still Mike's answer again.
played with marbles.
Chinese checkers.
Chinese checkers it is.
There you go.
Wow.
Sir.
Thanks, Jim.
Angelo, in Battleship, how many ships does each player have?
You have submarine, aircraft carrier. 5.
5 it is. Good guess.
I knew that one. What the
All right,
hell?
Walter. In the game of Sorry, how many pawns does each player have?
4.
It is 4.
8.
Wow.
Is
Dude,
it
you guys
4
are
really?
kicking ass
Okay.
tonight. I definitely made this one too easy for you guys. All right. Back to Jim Egner. In the game of Trivial Pursuit, what color represents the category of geography? We should have
I
GIA
know.
here. GIA left us.
Green.
I'm sorry?
Paul's
Green.
background. Look at Paul's background.
No, it is not green.
Paul's background.
Too late. He already said green.
Blue.
It is blue. Yes. How many dice are used in the game of Yahtzee, Mike?
Shit, I've never played Yahtzee. Okay, 6.
No.
It's not. It's
Said
not
5.
6. I
Said
thought.
5.
Oh.
I'm just going with what them internet said. So,
All right.
Oh God.
The internet lied to you.
Mr. Filmaholic, in the game of Jenga, how many wooden blocks are there in a complete set?
Oh my.
I have no idea.
You know what Jenga is, right? You've seen it before.
I know what Jenga is.
Just take a stab at it, man.
I have no idea. 25.
No, much larger. Anybody? Walter?
60. 60.
54. 54.
Wow.
How are we supposed to know that?
Exactly.
That was one of the harder ones, man.
I'm here for
If you lose it, Jimmy
Who
probably
played Jenga
counted
doesn't
as
know that.
He just made that
Angelo,
up.
we're almost done.
Thank God.
In the game of Pictionary, how many categories of clues are there?
6.
Anybody? Pictionary? Nope. 5.
5.
All right, Walter. Oh, Walter knew that one? You knew that one?
I don't want to spoil it. I'm making everyone feel bad.
Walter, in the game of Chutes and Ladders, how many spaces are there on the board?
74.
No. Anybody?
I didn't even hear the question.
82.
In the game Chutes and Ladders, how many spaces are there on the board?
Well, it's got to be it's a square. Okay, so go try to count.
Yeah, it's got an even number there.
Yep.
Never heard of this game.
You never played
Go-
Chutes and Ladders?
No, I'm a
Go
more
to
Clowns
kindergarten.
and Jackals kind
Go
of
8 by 8. Go 64.
It is
No, it's more
100.
than
There are
that.
100 spaces on the
Was
board.
there 10 by 10?
Last question. We're going to go with our special guest tonight, Walter, on this one. In the game Stratego, what rank is the highest?
Grand Admiral? I don't
No.
know.
No.
I have never played Stratego.
Never
I'm not
played
kidding.
Stratego. Oh, geez.
I promise you, I've never played it, so I have no clue.
Anybody in our chat room played Stratego?
I've never even heard of that.
Really?
Field Marshal.
It is. It is the Marshal, rank number 1. And you only
Okay.
get one of them. Yes, sir. So, well, Mr. McCloud, I want to thank you for being our special guest tonight. I'm going to bring you up big here, and this is your chance to plug your YouTube channel or anything else you want to talk about before we go for the night.
That's official Lanard Toy News, or you can reach me on Lanardalicious on Instagram. But in closing for me, I just want to say, if you don't take anything else away from this, thank Lanard for bringing the fun.
Right on, brother.
All right.
I want to thank all of you guys for joining me again on another Monday night. And I will be heading to Kentucky, but I plan on talking all about it next Monday. So if you guys are around and want to shoot the shit, we also will have It's Chad on. So make sure you check out his channel this week sometime and see who the special guest will be next week. It's Chad. Other than that, guys, have a great evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Paul.
Good night, everybody. Thank you,
Thanks for
Walter.
having me,
You
guys.
guys take her easy, guys.
You too.